You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ TV studios in Los Angeles, California, filling in for the great Sir Richard Wentworth one more week, it's Phil Svitek announcing tonight's AFTERBUZZ TV Spartacus Vengeance After Show. Tonight's hosts, Spicy Mari, Sean Overman. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can do so by dialing 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, picking up where the show leaves off and the buzz continues, it's AFTERBUZZ TV Spartacus.
There we go.
All right.
Welcome.
We are back for Spartacus Season 2, Episode 4.
Woo!
Empty Hands.
Yes. Isn't that a crazy title? And we're trying to figure out why this episode was called Empty Hands. Sean, you had a theory on why they named this episode Empty Hands.
Yes. Well, I say it could be for twofold reasons. Okay, so I was thinking that both sides from the last episode left somewhat with empty hands.
Right.
You know, well, they went in there to, obviously the rebels, they went in there to get Naevia. So they kind of have her, but then they lost so many men.
AFTERBUZZ TV.
Oh,
There we go.
What's going on with that?
Soundtrack.
Once like you,
Going
a
on.
lazy, angry loner whose only joy was watching TV and surfing the net. And like you, after I'd see
Getting
one
a
of
little
my
commercial
favorite
on,
TV
huh?
shows,
Hey.
I'd be so excited
Throw it
and
in
have
there
so
when you
many
can.
questions.
That
There
was
we
just a
go.
little tease about the commercial coming up.
Yes, that's right. I love that commercial, by the way.
It is. It sounds great.
How the heck are you guys?
Hey,
We're
Roddy.
doing well.
Well, I
Thanks,
didn't start
Ronnie.
the show. He started the show, and then I picked it up, and then it just went a little awry. But it's okay. Now you guys could tell us
Hey,
all.
we roll with the Spartacus punches.
Yeah, you could tell me all about it. It was interesting. I walked in and watched you guys a little bit. The half-naked show of all these people.
Are you enjoying it as much as we are?
I almost feel too
Yes.
clothed to watch this show. I feel like I have too much wardrobe on when I'm watching this episode.
That is words to live by.
The clothing restricts the blood flow sometimes.
Right. I just want to strip down and join them sometimes.
Okay, so we got now this episode.
Empty
Spicy.
hands.
Empty hands. Do you feel like it was about the same, greatness or high
So-
rating as the last episode, or how do you
this
feel?
episode was not as intense. Although they
Okay.
try to throw in several fight scenes, I felt like this episode, as far as storyline progression is concerned, didn't really revolve around Spartacus. It mostly showcased Lucretia and Ilithia's relationship. We didn't even see that much of Crixus this episode either. So
right.
I feel like the storyline is kind of not so many highs this episode, not so much intensity. They gave us a few fight scenes, but not so much storyline. What about you?
I feel the same way. We had a really big, we were riding a big wave last time. We were
Yeah.
on the crest, we were enjoying the tunnel. And then here we come, we're going into a little trough now.
Right.
It's kind of like a little falling action. There's some fights, but, they can't have it as intense as they had it last episode, I feel. So that's okay. They're not blowing their wad yet. It's all good.
Well, I think maybe this episode was focused on us letting go of certain characters that weren't even that crucial to begin with. We didn't really kill off anybody that we had major relationships with, which was one thing that I love about Spartacus is you never know when you're going to lose one of your favorite characters. And they didn't really do us, that service this time. It was kind of randoms that we've never seen before that they decided to kill off. And I was kind of hoping there would be an intense moment of someone that we cared about, as awful as that sounds.
Yeah, that's right. So we had, what was it? We had two gladiators that the guys with meniscus.
Yeah.
It sounded like meniscus, which is, that kneecap area, that part in your kneecap that cushions you.
I was sad. I
So-
was definitely sad to see him go because he's kind of gorgeous.
You liked him.
Yeah, he was fine. I was like, wait, where did he come
That
from?
guy was like Lego blocks put together, man. He
Definitely.
was really fit.
He was. And you're going to tell us later about being fit, gladiator style.
That's right. I will share that with you guys. Little Gladiator Workout for those of you who want to get in shape, just like they do at Gladiator Bootcamp.
Exactly.
This show has got the best looking shape. Like everyone's in perfect shape. What do
they
they eat?
set
Do
the
they eat at
bar.
all? Like it seems like they only eat protein because they're perfect shape. They work out like the whole time, right? Isn't that what you talked about last week?
Yeah, that's right. Well, Liam McIntyre, he talked about eating all the chickens in New Zealand. So
Right.
He said that, but I'll talk about it a little bit more later. But they just in Blood and Sand, I saw a video from that I had not seen before when Andy was training with them, and they just drink a lot of protein. And there's this funny clip in the video where Crixus, Manu Bennett, he's just gurgling. He's like drinking the protein.
Chugging it down.
And he's chugging it down, and he's like doing it like he's washing his mouth too. He's like, so it's pretty funny stuff, man.
Well,
Yeah.
they don't eat on the show. We see that. They're like on the run.
Yeah.
So in real life, they're chugging down protein shakes in order to get those bodies.
So let's get started on
Can we
relationships.
get to the drama, the juice? Yes.
Yes, let's talk about it. So you had one.
So, Ilithyia and Lucretia, that's always a high point for the show. And I feel like this episode was geared around them. Once again, they're arch nemesis. Like, they hate each other and they're duking it out like every other episode, except for this time, there's more at stake. And we don't quite know whether we can trust Lucretia. We know we can't trust Ilithyia. But we see her start to kind of set up this relationship with Lucretia's father.
That's
or
right.
Ilithia's father.
Yeah, Ilithia's father. And we actually found out what his name is finally.
Yes.
Okay, so his name is Albinius.
Albinius.
And I think they mentioned that a couple times, but I actually did some
We
research.
were trying to figure it out last few
Yeah.
episodes. We're
We
like,
have
what is
been
her
trying.
father's name?
That's right, and we finally got it. Albinius, the blonde-haired, older gentleman with the blue eyes. That senator guy. Okay, so we got him, and oh my gosh, I'm so surprised that. And you had a spicy prediction while we were watching the episode.
I did. Because of the way that they set it up in the beginning, I already knew that something was going to be kind of revealed in their relationship. I knew that they were going to attack each other. Of course, we see Ilithyia threatening Lucretia because she still doesn't believe that she's blessed by the gods. She thinks that this is all a scam, and she refuses to be underneath her again. So in addition to threatening her life, we start to see that maybe Lucretia's a little bit up to no good and that she's smarter than we think. But we can't tell because she keeps going back and forth as if she remembers and then she doesn't.
Yes, but she actually admitted this time. She said she remembered everything. So that was pretty interesting. And then Ilithyia went crazy as soon as she heard that and threatened her, like, I'm gonna bash your brains in just like Kenia's.
But do you think that she was admitting to having admitted remembering everything? Or do you think that she meant it more as in the sense of, I remember everything that happened this week, like what you said about being interested in Varinius and that you didn't want a relationship with your husband anymore. I don't think she meant it as, I remember everything that you did to me.
That's a good point. She was actually vague
I think
about
they
it.
wanted us to think that in the story, and then they wound up switching it on us when her life was threatened.
That's right, and obviously Ilithyia thought that. I thought that, but who knows what Lucretia actually meant, if she is still subdued, waiting in cover for the ambush, like setting everything up behind the scenes.
Right. I think that Lucretia is trying to play Ilithyia. Just like a little puppet. I think that she's, dangling her strings, working those arms out, even like, what would you say, webbing her web of deceit.
She's constructing her web of deceit.
Constructing her web of deceit.
I guess you could say that, yeah. So, crazy stuff. And she was banging Ilithia's
Right,
father.
that was the spicy prediction, is that we walked in on her sleeping with him. Like I wasn't surprised about that because I knew that she was going to try to pursue a position of power. And instead of her trying to undermine Ilithyia and take Varinius from her, she pursued her father instead.
Yes, and that was a very spicy scene, I must say.
It was. It definitely was. Because she's sleeping, she's like riding him and then looking at Ilithyia while she's doing it.
Yeah, that was some crazy stuff.
It's kind of like in your face, take that.
Yeah, bingo. So who do we got next? We got Ilithyia. We did Ilithyia, Lucretia, and
Varinius.
That was Albinius that we talked about. Mira and Naevia.
So that was this episode was hard for me because before I wasn't that fond of Mira. I felt like she just wanted a relationship with Spartacus and she was trying to prove her worth to him by being this ride or die by his side gladiator princess. And instead, I really feel like this episode, she proved herself and Naevia is holding them back.
Yes, she is. She is slowing them down so much. obviously she's got post-traumatic stress disorder going on.
Oh, gosh.
And she can't even
Are we supposed
speak.
to feel sorry for her?
And she ran away when all the Romans are closing in on them, and she caused more deaths amongst the rebels.
Now,
Jeez.
the reason that I have a problem with, because you mentioned running away,
Yes.
you are in love with a gladiator. He is a warrior. You have no right, no place to run from a fight going on. You need to grab a sword just like Mira did and fight. You know exactly what to do, and I feel like this season they're making her character a lot more weaker. Yes, she was in a cave and she was abused, but which gladiator wasn't? I mean, every single person on the show has been abused at some point in their life.
That's true.
So what's going on with her?
She probably has this mentality where it's like she's been in all these abusive situations where she just feels like she can't fight anymore, and she felt like, oh, I'm just going to give up, or I'm just going to run away. She doesn't want to get hurt anymore, and that's probably where she's coming from.
But don't you think that she was tougher as a slave when she was under Lucretia than she is now?
I don't think she really killed anybody, or she didn't really fight. She didn't have a chance because she was out of the house when the whole rebellion happened and killed them all. So maybe she doesn't have that same mentality as they do. They already have their mental pathways all to be like, I am fighting, I'm rebellious. But she doesn't have that. She was taken away from everybody when that was going on.
No, and I definitely think that that's true. I see what you're saying. But at the same time, she risked her life in order to be in a relationship with Crixus. And so when you do that, when you risk your life, you should be fighting for what he practically lost his life. He got captured for you, and you're gonna allow that all of the other gladiators to be in harm's way because you're too scared to pick up a sword. What is that? Like, she does not deserve a gladiator. I'm sorry.
Well, I do agree with you. She was a little bit annoying this episode, so hopefully she improves a little
If
bit.
I hear her cry one more time, I'm gonna scream.
And you know what? You could tell that Mira was getting annoyed by her too. And she even, remember in the other episode, she referred to them. She said, what was it exactly? She said something like, "I will not be led to my death
To harm's way.
like Naevia."
Yeah, like Naevia.
Yeah, exactly. So Mira's obviously the fighter, and then we got Naevia. She's the lover. Will she be a fighter later on? We'll see.
Mira's gonna have to teach her a thing or two because Mira used some knives, some tricks this time where she was definitely that ride or die fighting girl, and she made Naevia look really, really bad.
Exactly. And she even jumped on that one Roman sentry, and
that was the best. That was my favorite.
She spidered on that guy.
Right.
And she just started stabbing him up, and then she even took up the gladius, the sword, and she started defending Naevia and Tiberius when everybody was down. And
yeah.
That was pretty insane, man. And she even got clocked really good in the face, too.
Yeah, and they never really gave us too much time to see her training because we know that she was a slave. Her and Naevia were under the same roof at one point. They both lived under Lucretia. And so for them to not be equal in the fighting, there must have been some point where Spartacus or Crixus trained Mira, because Naevia has none of that, or she's not displaying that yet.
They did a lot of that in the 6 weeks that they were terrorizing the Capua countryside.
Right. She got her training in.
Uh-huh.
But I at least expected her to jump in at some point and help. But we'll go in on Naevia and this character replacement a little bit later when we give profiles.
When you do your actor bio
yes,
on
when I do the actor bio on her. But I will say that I am biased to the previous character. I liked her essence better.
Oh, I see. So you like the previous actress for Naevia's character?
Yes, but I will give this one a chance, just like I am starting to fall for Mcintyre. I'll give her a chance.
Okay, very good. And last of the characters, we got Seppia and Seppia's relationship. And
AFTERBUZZ prediction.
Remember, I had it. I talked about we got a little bit of the incestuousness going on, and here it comes. It finally shows up here in this episode, and you can tell clearly Seppius was jealous.
Right.
When Varinius and Seppia were having that little thing, that little flirtatiousness going on at the party.
Well, I thought that it was interesting that they kind of dangled the idea of there being this incest going on in our faces, but then they totally revealed it this time.
Yes.
When opportunity permitted, because she could not have the man that she was pursuing. So then the brother moves in, and what he said, let's comfort each other tonight. He said it in some Roman kind of way.
Let's leave this party and have the memories fade in a warm embrace.
Right. Sean says it's so much better than moi. But I mean, I was just like, whoa. That's a little bit interesting.
And it was very obvious this time. There's no way around that. Incest.
Yes, exactly. So I think we're going to see that little bit of that relationship kind of unfold. But he's not going to let Seppia be with Varinius by any means. We're going to probably start to see him plotting, planning, and scheming along beside Ilithyia.
That's right. And all these characters, they're just pulling each other apart. They're going in their own directions, and they all have their own little. What's the word I'm searching for? They have their own agendas.
Right.
So everybody wants power amongst the Romans. This is where this season is really developing the Romans
Right.
a lot more as compared to the previous seasons. Before it was always in the house of Gladiatus, the slaves,
Yes.
upper versus lower house. But here we got the Romans, and it's more like countrywide almost. We got the people that are good, in the Senate, the people that are the rich nobles,
Right.
And then of course we have the slaves and the rebels who are trying to upset the whole balance of the structure of the status quo.
But I like that they're doing that. I like that they're showing us a little bit more of that side so that we can develop relationships with them as well. Because before, you're right, it was more of the gladiators that were the focal points, and now we're getting to see inside this house. But how crazy is it that Ilithyia is trying to divorce her husband whom she is pregnant by?
Wow, that is
How
a
are they
big
going to
deal.
drop that on us?
Especially for back then, man.
Because wasn't it illegal?
Unacceptable back then. I don't know if it was illegal, but it's just like
Divorce
wow,
had to have been illegal back then.
It
I'm pretty
must
sure.
have been. It must have been. And they didn't say divorce, but you wish to dissolve bonds with your husband, that kind of thing.
You're pregnant with this child and you're pursuing another man.
And that leads us into that next relationship with Albinius, obviously the father of Ilithyia.
Right.
And this is some crazy stuff that's going on. And Ilithyia really wants it to happen. And this is the first episode that we see Albinius show favor to Glaber. And it's like, finally it's happening, but then we got this crazy stuff going
Right.
on. Yeah, and then...
The moment he wins just a little bit of favor, because he was right about his prediction about the gladiators being in the caves. And so he scores a couple points with Albinius, and then all of a sudden it's going to be thrown to shambles. But I think Ilithyia is going to kind of give him a hint that it's over between them.
Yeah, and well, it was more than a hint for us, the audience, when we see Varinius giving her some pleasure
my
down
gosh.
south in the hallway.
For those of you who are watching, Varinius was fingering. I can say that. Ilithyia.
Yeah.
Now, this is a pregnant woman who is having a semi-love affair with another man who she's supposed to be friends with Seppia, and you know that this young lady who you influence wants to marry him. How can you do that?
It's crazy stuff, man. But you know what? It just adds to the dynamics. That's all it does.
It's like
I'm
plot
enjoying
after
it.
plot after scheme after scheme. Like it's all layered on top of each other.
I want Varinius to just mess up Glaber and Ilithia's marriage. I want this to happen.
Oh,
I'm,
really?
I'm expecting it to happen, but let's save that more for predictions.
Yes, no predictions.
Yes. So anything else? Other Glaber stuff going on? Mira, Naevia?
Well, what about the slaves that we didn't get to see too much of their interaction with the Romans, except for the fact that they have now returned to the house. It was Oenomaus and Crixus. And then who was the third person that's Crixus' right-hand man?
Crixus' right-hand man is Rascus.
And we don't know who the fourth person is that Lucretia ordered to be murdered.
He
But we
ended
thought
up-
it was going to be Crixus at first.
Yeah, it was really close, and obviously, if that ended up happening, Crixus would have somehow miraculously escaped, and he did escape in this sense too.
Of course, and because she wants to wait and see him die, but experience a little bit more pain along the way. So he's gonna have to die in the gladiators arena.
She wants to kill him one stroke at a time, and this is
What,
this
is that
kind
supposed to be
this
sexual?
It is. It's a
That's
stroke.
spicy? Okay.
There we go. Yeah, it's a stroke, in that sense, as in the stroke of a blade, and also, of course, the other stroke
Right,
that we
right,
know,
right.
we very well know what we're talking about,
Oh gosh, Ronnie's going nuts with the sound effects over there.
and that was actually a quote from Batiatus back in season 1.
I remember
The
that.
maximum number of strokes to maximize the pleasure.
I remember that. So we have to go into our famous quotes as well.
Okay, so you want to talk about quotes now? All right.
Yeah,
so,
let's do it.
Let's see.
What stuck out to you this episode?
All right. Things that stuck out, or do you want to do quotes?
Like quotes that stuck out.
Quotes that stuck out. Oh, I had some good ones. Let's see. I would but sever dangling thread. That's what Reniscus, that one slave rebel who was out there in the forest with them, when he referred to Tiberius being executed. Like they wanted to kill him so that they didn't have this burden. I would but sever dangling thread.
And that's
I enjoyed that.
Yeah, and of course, I always need you to interpret some of the Roman language for me, because I'm like, wait, what happened? What did he say? What did that mean?
Yeah, and I really enjoy listening to this stuff. It's like Shakespeare for our generation.
It is. It definitely is. I think that's a good way to put it.
Did you have one?
Let me see. I'm looking through my notes right now. Seppia is okay. I liked when Seppia said, "You overreach and tears burn in result."
Ooh,
How many of us try to kind of, step over our boundaries and go outside of not our level, but out of our league?
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what he was telling his sister. He was telling Seppia that she was out of her league trying to get Varinius.
That's right. And he was doing this, obviously, he was saying that out of jealousy,
Yep.
saying that for control, so he can bring her back to his warm embrace.
But the burning tears, I was like, oh, that's poetic.
Yeah, it is poetic.
Because it hurts. It hurts when you don't
does.
get the one you want.
That's right. It does.
But
hurt.
I think that she's going to I think she's going to step up to the plate a little bit and get a little tougher in order to get him.
Yeah, I feel that you're right.
There's no way you can hang around Lucretia and Ilithyia and not become deceptive.
And maybe that's what she's going to become later on. It seems like Ilithyia, remember when she stabbed that one filleted man who was on the pole? She was showing off that, oh, yes, I'm more experienced. Right. I can do this. So maybe Seppia is going to start to be more vindictive, too, because she has to compete with all these crazy women.
Exactly. I agree with that. I totally agree with that. What else you got for us?
What
are the quotes?
A most judicious compromise. And that was an exchange between Glaber and, what was his name again? Varinius. Varinius, when they were discussing how they would see some blood tonight without killing all of the gladiators. Let's just kill one. Let's fillet one man. A most judicious compromise. I
appreciated that, but I knew that they were going to have to do that. They're going to have to do something, because we'll talk about Varinius and Glaber. They keep going back and forth. There is some rivalry between them, because I think Glaber knows that Varinius kind of is a threat to him, not only with his position, but also with his wife, because he kind of sees that Ilithyia is fond of him.
That's right.
So they're playing this tit for tat game going back and forth. They always have to outdo the other one.
Yeah, I feel that you're right. And it was really nice to see that. I like the dynamics that are going on between them. And I hope to see more of it later on. And finally, next episode, we'll be coming back to the arena. They allude to that. They're going to have big guys fight. They're going to have Oenomaus fight. They're going to have Crixus fight, as well as Rascus. Oh, who do you think's going to go down?
Brascus, of course.
Brascus.
Yeah, we can't let go of Crixus and Oenomaus.
Of course not. Or maybe none of them will die. We'll see. Predictions later on.
You play a dangerous game.
I do.
That is one of the quotes from this episode that Varinius told Ilithyia. And I feel like that was kind of the whole premise of this episode. I'm still trying to figure out how I feel about empty hands. I think that your theory was good on that definition. But I also think that...
thank you.
Yeah, I definitely think that was a good one, because nobody kind of won this episode. No, I don't feel like there was any champions going on. But... definitely the "you play a dangerous game" quote, because this was a game this episode. Everyone was playing the pawns against each other.
That's right. It was like everybody's bluffing each other. Everybody's saying, oh, I'll raise you. Oh, what do you got? What do you got in your hand?
Playing some poker over here.
That's right. What else? Ooh, here's a good one too. Okay, I'm leaving out the ones that have the C word.
Ooh, I have my spicy quote. Go ahead.
I have spicy ones. We'll tell you when we got our spicy ones, folks in the audience at home, because we want you to turn down your sets in case if you have young ones around.
Oh, so, mine's not as bad.
Mine's bad.
Oh, you have a naughty one?
I got naughty ones.
Mine. Okay, so I'll give mine first before yours then, because yours is R-rated.
Mine is like PG-13 right here. This one's
give the
PG.
PG-13 one.
I got a couple R-rated ones. So here's a PG-13 one.
Look at Sean getting spicy over here.
So, woman of barely formed breast.
Ooh, I did like that one.
A nice way of that Ilithyia was saying, like, oh, these women are immature.
Right.
You shouldn't bother with them.
They're young adults.
That's right.
They're barely even reached puberty yet.
So what do you got? What else?
So mine was favorite quote of the night was by Mira. And like I said, she won me over this episode because, as you can say, she was a little gangsta, but she was also very loyal. She's proven her love to Spartacus. I definitely see this wanting to win his approval. And she says, I will hold them back. Or no, he says to her, I will hold them back as long as I'm able. And she responds, no, I will stay by your side.
Yeah, I like that.
And so what is that? Like, she will not leave this man she's like, we're going to fight together. There is no you without me.
immediately I thought that was sexy when she said that. And the way that they were posed right there for that camera shot, very awesome. That was an excellent couple pose.
Yes, and I think that they're setting her up to be the female Spartacus. I think I see something. I'm not going to give an AfterBuzz prediction, but I can't help it. I think that she's going to gather women and help lead women in the fight as well.
Okay.
I kind of foresee that coming.
I like that. Okay, so here, time for you guys to turn down your sets. Spicy,
here you go.
R-rated
Give
quotes.
it to us, Sean.
Okay, I'm gonna blow through these. I'm gonna blow through these.
Okay, give it to us.
Morning cock has a better chance of crowing.
Awesome.
So that, it's obviously referring to the penis, but
Exactly.
it could be referring to a rooster as well.
But that was her way of saying not a chance.
Yes, exactly. And then also we got, what else? I think that was it from, here. Varinius referring to Crassus, Marcus Crassus, who was Licinia's cousin. He's still alive. Obviously,
Yes.
Licinia's dead. He is a very wealthy man, large of coin, but small of cock.
The cock was the theme this episode, was it not?
Oh, they always say cock all the time.
They mentioned it a few times, but I love the way that they call it cock.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Very simple.
Why do they do that? But it's cute. I like the way they do that.
Did you have any other ones? Or
No,
is that it?
I gave my best. Other than live and see many Romans fall.
Okay.
I appreciated Reniska saying that at the end. Like, he was he was kind of the protagonist this episode and not wanting to fight for the gladiators because you can tell that he was getting upset, just as I was, for Naevia holding everybody back.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end, he didn't want it to be in vain.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. So he did give his blessing at the end with his last dying breath.
Right.
And there we go. And that's where it matters.
You know who you didn't talk about?
Who?
Your favorite person, Ashur.
Oh, yes.
And
Ashur.
the deceit that he webbed this episode.
He wasn't in the episode too much, but yes, he did have some deceit. He ended up slaying the commander of Glaber, who was
Right.
leading the Romans in the field. And he, obviously in his manner, I will not die this day. That is Ashur's theme. I will not die
That
this
was
day.
very typical of him when you said that.
He will do anything to make sure he lives and survives, including cheating people, deceiving others, and even killing his friends.
And so for him, it's about survival of the fittest.
That's right. And in this case, he's using his noggin.
Right, pretty much, because he knows he's no match for Spartacus.
That's true.
So he did what in that moment was the smartest thing to do.
Yep. And so actually, since we're talking about Ashur, do you want to go ahead and segue now into
I
the
would.
actor bios?
Can you please give us some information about your favorite character on the show?
Okay. Well, he's not my favorite. Actually, Crixus is my favorite.
Crixus is your favorite.
Yes, but of the antagonists, the bad people, I like Ashur. He's my favorite one because he's got the most dynamics going on within his character.
Oh, did I call Ashur the protagonist earlier? No.
No, you didn't.
Okay,
No,
I was like, wait, did I say it wrong?
No, absolutely not. Okay, so good stuff. All right, news and gossip within the actor bio. Okay, so this is going to count as, it's going to be a double whammy.
Oh, okay.
So we got, earlier tonight, I was looking at the Spartacus Starz, their tweets, and they quoted Nick Terabay, who is the actor that plays Ashur. And Ashur, he said that Ashur wanted to remain loyal to the Brotherhood, but it just kept being taken away from him. So you see there...
So people sympathize with him.
Yes, exactly. Obviously, if Nick Terabay, the craftsman behind Ashur's character, can be showing some sympathy for him, why can't we? And I feel sympathy for him, and I told you I love to hate him. Obviously he's an evil, deceptive scoundrel, but I still like him there. We need him there.
We do. Of course, he is the reason that every time the gladiators get ahead, there is an ounce of defeat, and they keep getting set back because of him. So I have a huge problem with, I hate his guts, but not the person, just his character.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he doesn't deserve any respect. He has dealt the hands that he has been given because of the actions that he's made and the choices that he's made. So he deserves everything that he's getting. Everybody hates him, but is well deserved. Had he a long time ago,
I like that.
Had he a long time ago been a brother to them, at any point he could have done that. He could have joined forces with Oenomaus and saved his life when he had the opportunity, and instead he turns him into Lucretia.
That's right.
He gives many opportunities to show that he's part of the Brotherhood, but every single time he fails them.
Yeah, there we go. And, well, it could be that. And from my perspective, or an alternate perspective, how about that?
Okay.
An alternate perspective, maybe it's everybody else that's giving him a hard time. No. Is he weaving? Is he digging his own grave?
Well, do you not see that they didn't like Tiberius in the beginning?
Yes.
But then he earned his respect and fought for them in their honor.
That's true.
Ashur has had several seasons to do the same.
Yes,
and
he has.
still he chooses not to.
And he has chosen the path that has ended him. It's ended him more on the Roman side, but he's still kind of in the middle, a little bit. He's treading on the dark side.
He is. I mean, no, he is on the dark side. He doesn't like the Romans,
yeah.
but yet he helps them defeat the gladiators
Yes.
every single time, every opportunity he gets.
True that. He's almost like a bounty hunter in some senses.
I like that. I like that description for him. That is exactly what he is.
There
He's
we
a
go.
bounty hunter for the Romans.
That's right. Let's see what else we got. So let's talk about Nick now. All right, so he's aged 37, I believe 36 or 37. I think he's turning 37 this year. He has been credited obviously as Nick E. Terabay, which is like what he's credited as on the show. But back in the day, over 10 years ago, he was actually also credited in some shows like Sex and the City. That's where he got his first start as Imad Tarabi. Yeah.
Okay, so
He was a dancer on Sex and the City.
okay, so
I
this must
think.
have been a random episode because I've seen every episode of Sex and the City.
I haven't seen him, but it's something like he's just a dancer. That's about it. Credited. All right. See, he was in lots of shows. Crash as Axel Finette, which was actually a big character. He was a lieutenant. He was in The Sopranos as a drug dealer. Detroit 187
Oh,
as
Sopranos.
yeah. He was in Detroit 187 as a Middle Eastern crime boss, Amir Sakani. He was also in NCIS, which these are all popular shows.
Oh,
And obviously Sex and the City. So he's a very athletic guy. He played soccer when he was in college. He got semi-pro status, and he played for Lebanon and Kuwait. By the way, he was born in Lebanon, Beirut, Lebanon.
oh, he's Lebanese.
Yes, he's Lebanese, exactly. So obviously you can tell. He looks like
I
he's
get
Middle
mistaken for
Eastern.
Lebanese sometimes.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
Lebanese people come up to me all the time. Isn't that,
I could see
you
it.
didn't see that?
I could see it, actually. Yeah, I got it. You're ethnically ambiguous.
I am, just as you are.
Yes, very well. So here we go. What else do we got about him? Oh, he moved to the U.S., first to New York, and he started working in the fashion industry.
Oh, wow, before he was an actor.
That's right. And while he was doing that, he was going to acting school. He went to two famous schools. One of them was the Tony Schreiber, and then the other one was the Larry Moss acting studios. So there we go. That's pretty much all I got on Nick E. Terabay. Did you have any?
Well, I mean, of course, we have to bring up Naevia, who
Yeah.
I hope redeems herself next episode because she is not representing Crixus very well. I mean, Mira has earned her keep. I'm down with Mira and her being with Spartacus, but I have a huge issue with Naevia right now, so let's see what happens. But Naevia is introduced for the first time on this episode, or this season, last episode. We finally got to see who was playing Naevia this time. And her actual name is Cynthia Adai Robinson. And we haven't seen very much of her. This is her breakout role, in my opinion, because in Spartacus, Vengeance is pretty huge for it to be your breakout role.
Of course.
But she was in Columbiana
Okay.
with Zoe Saldana, and she played Alicia in that film. And so for those of you who haven't seen Columbiana, wasn't a huge role, but she was in the film.
Alrighty.
And so she's also been in Flash Forward. She played a nurse Debbie. And then we've also seen her
Oh, that
in...
was that show on ABC, right? Flash Forward. I think it was on ABC.
Yeah.
Yes, it sure was. It was
Ronnie
very,
knows-
very
Ronnie knows
good.
about it.
Oh, how many? You know about it?
I watched
Ronnie?
every single episode, and I don't really like that sort of type of show, but I watched every episode.
What is-
It was. What do you mean?
Is it kind of like a sci-fi show, like fantasy? Like what's going on with
Well, it was a show where they saw into their future. So they saw something, they all blacked out, and they saw into their future, and that's how they knew what was going to happen to them. So some people knew they would die on a certain date. Some people knew they'd be raped on a certain date. It was real interesting. Which character was she? Which actress are you
She was
speaking of?
Debbie. She played a nurse.
Oh, okay. And she's in this one. Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought she maybe looked familiar, although the people in this show, Spartacus, they look completely different.
Well, this
than-
is her second role from that show. That was like Flash Forward was the first like big role that she had because she had a reoccurring
Yeah.
role on there, and now Spartacus.
Well,
so that's
she's
a
on
pretty good upgrade.
Yeah, she's on a winning show right now.
Right, pound winning.
Yeah.
Because before that, she only had small little appearances on CSI New York, CSI Miami, Law and Order, Criminal Intent. She played a lot of the, I guess, criminal shows, as you would say.
Well, those are really popular right now
Right.
in U.S. culture.
Right, but this is her first major reoccurring role. Because
And-
this show, Spartacus is huge. Come on.
Oh
now.
yeah, of course. And even I actually read, getting over to Liam McIntyre again. I actually read an article I forget who. Oh gosh, I think I don't even remember what the article was, what newspaper it was in. But I read an article just recently that came out that said he was touring around here in LA, and he couldn't believe like he would see his face, like huge, like 10-story buildings with his face on it. So it's interesting stuff, man.
I know. Every time I see it, I look at it and I'm like, like I get so excited every time I see the billboard.
Yeah, me too. I pass by them every time. There's that one off the 101 South. There's also the one that's on it's on the 405 when you're passing by that promenade area over there. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like kind of near the 90 freeway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then I actually I was driving with one of my students from my life skills classes, and I told her about me doing the show, and then she never heard of Spartacus.
Wait,
ever.
Are you kidding me right now?
Well, she's a student. You know, she doesn't get to watch Starz and all these shows. She's only like 17. She's going to turn 18 pretty soon. And she looks over, and after I tell her, she's like, oh, there's that show that you're talking about. I see it now. You know, I opened her eyes.
Oh, yeah. So now she pays more attention to it.
That's right.
We've had that effect on several people.
Borderline not good. She's under 18 and you're talking to about a show like this?
I told her not
Careful there, Sean.
I didn't tell her to watch the show.
You get this.
The views expressed herein are those of the host only, and do not necessarily
Because
reflect
really.
the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principal.
That's right.
Wait till she's 18 till you're going to talk to her about a show that's this intense. Anyway.
That's right.
You guys said on the very first episode that it wasn't kind of bringing the heat. You know, you guys were like a
wasn't.
little. It has these last couple episodes went there. I mean, are we back on track with the new actor and the newer version of Spartacus? Is it good?
That's a great question, Ronnie. I am bad cop. Sean is probably more good cop because I'm going to say that as much as I think that Liam Mcintyre has a great canning resemblance to Andy Whitfield, and that he is trained very hard, and that he is really just getting into this role, they're not showing that much of him. He has not been a focal point on this season, and I think that the writers have done that on purpose because they weren't 100% confident with writing him in, knowing that he was replacing such a major role. And so I think that they've kind of minimized his character on the show when he's supposed to be this huge leader. He's the cover of the billboards. He is the face of the show, and they've kind of decreased his appearances, I think. And unfortunately, as beautiful as he is, I don't know if he has the same essence as Andy Whitfield did and the expressions that Andy captured before with Spartacus. What do you think, Sean?
I feel like you're right to a certain extent. I'm waiting for them to have him do more stuff. In the first episode, we had him there a lot. Second episode, pretty much there too. I think where his strong suit is that he's good at the fight choreography.
Yes.
He's good at showing that intensity during battle sequences. And I really enjoy seeing that. Of course, he doesn't have as much dialogue.
Right.
But, we're going to see where the story takes us later on and where the writers take us.
But in his defense, he doesn't have as much acting experience as everybody else that's a part of the cast as well. So maybe, he's got to work his chops out a little bit more and kind of get there. So I think that if we stay with him, he's going to grow in the role.
Yes.
I definitely foresee that. Now, as far as Naevia, Leslie Ann Brandt was the original Naevia. And so she was replaced this season. The new Naevia has not won me over.
Oh no! Of course, we were talking about that.
I know, but I do appreciate that they didn't write her out. They could have killed her, but they didn't. So I appreciate that. There was some articles that I read that they can't explain why she was replaced, other than the previous actor probably was going on to film projects that she was trying to pursue.
I see.
So we're gonna just kind of leave that window open. I'm gonna do some more research and find out where did she go.
Okay, very good. Let's go ahead. I said I wasn't going to have any history facts, but actually one came to mind.
I already know.
There
Come
we
with
go.
it. Dish it.
Okay, so regarding Spartacus, we talked about Thrace last time, and regarding the Thracians, there's actually not very much record of how they looked, their physical appearance.
Huh.
But there is one thing that's a little bit of an allusion to their artifacts that are found. Okay, so that alludes to how they look. Now, a lot of their artifacts, their gods have red hair and green eyes.
Wow.
Yes, so that's pretty unique.
That's a nice combo.
Of course they're gonna. A lot of cultures these days, they make at
So
least
they look like
back-
Lindsay Lohan? Is that how they looked?
I guess so. She's got
Red
that.
hair, green eyes.
There she is. And what is she? South African, right? She's from South Africa.
No, I think she played a character on Mean Girls that was South African.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't done any research on Lindsay Lohan, so sorry about that. But okay, so he actually here Liam McIntyre and Andy Whitfield, they have that like brownish hair that's almost like reddish. Like
Yes.
it's just a touch of red in it.
Yeah, almost like a Irishman or Scottishman.
Yeah, and they have light eyes. Obviously, Andy Whitfield, he had more blue eyes, maybe blue-green a little bit, but Liam McIntyre, he's got really pretty green eyes. If you look at those, it's like green with a touch of hazel in them. So as far as I've seen,
I like
you
the
know,
way
on
you
the
called
show.
him pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty eyes.
Did I say pretty?
You did say pretty.
I don't know. You caught me.
Ronnie's giving you a hard time about that.
I said pretty as in a very much, not as in they're pretty as in they're beautiful. No, I didn't mean it like that.
Go ahead and rep it. He's an outstanding looking dude. Come on, Sean.
It's
Stand
okay,
by
you
your
can
convictions,
say it,
man.
you can say it.
He's a good
Everybody
looking
will
guy.
agree.
Whatever. All right.
Sean said whatever.
I have no passion towards the man other than he's a good craftsman in his battle sequences.
Well, I think that was a great fact. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
Can you give us a little bit of information about the fighting and the diet that they're on? Because you said you were going to mention that. You teased us earlier with that.
I am going to give you some information. So, how to be like a gladiator.
We get it.
Why don't we tease everyone and make them go to a commercial first,
Yes,
and
let's
then you
do
come
that.
back with that amazing, diet plan, which you sort of talked about last week, but you're going to give them a little more, right?
Yes.
So this is like the second or third week of training, right? This is stepping it up.
Well,
Yeah?
I like to give out like 2 exercises each week.
Okay, well, let's do it. Let's go to a commercial and then
Commercial break.
really, jazz it up.
Boom.
AfterBuzz TV. Hi, I was once like you, a lazy, angry loner whose only joy was watching TV and surfing the net. And, like you, after I'd see one of my favorite TV shows, I'd be so excited and have so many questions that I'd actually have to talk to my douchebag coworkers about it at the water cooler. Then I discovered AfterBuzzTV.com. AfterBuzz TV produces after-show webcasts and podcasts for TV series of all kinds, like post-game wrap-up shows for all your favorite TV shows. AfterBuzz TV hosts are industry insiders who break down episodes of shows, take calls from fans, and interview cast and crew from each series, with over 60 different after shows, from Boardwalk Empire to American Idol to Vampire Diaries to Real Housewives, and more. Now, after a night of TV, I can ignore my stupid coworkers, who I hate, and go straight to my desk and watch or listen to all my favorite AfterBuzz TV after shows, and have all the TV fan interaction I need. Thank you, AfterBuzz TV.
AfterBuzz TV. What do you want to buzz about?
What do you want to buzz about,
We
people?
are back.
All right.
So Sean is going to tell us some amazing facts about the Gladiator Diet and 2 points on how they work out and get those fabulous physiques. Every week he gives us a little special something on it.
That's right. Of course, I've been doing research on the videos. I've been, these are 2.5 minute videos that I see that are actually with the Spartacus cast in them, and I pick those apart. I look at them, I pause them, every few seconds so I can see exactly what they're
And
doing.
you try them out yourself.
And I try them out myself.
He's our guinea
exactly.
pig.
And I actually, I started the workouts last week, and I've actually did the workouts a little bit more intensely this week, and I feel bigger already.
You know
honestly.
what? You look a little bit more broader. I was going to tell you
Thank
that.
you. And you know what? Yeah. Boom, right there.
We need to get the gladiator sound of like the gladiator arena sound going on. When they're like cheering.
Seriously, or we have to have some kind of bit, like some kind of sound. Yes.
Is that not Gladiator?
That wasn't so much gladiator. That was more like
That's like
Carson Daly audience.
Yes, rehearsed audience
The
sound.
voice. Okay, I'll work on that for next week. All right, back to the
all
workout
good.
plan.
So, circuit training, very important. That's what they do.
Oh, I've done circuit training before.
Yeah, and a lot of people do it, but that's very important for them because it does muscle confusion, right? So
Right,
you're going
you switch
around,
it up.
you're switching it up all the time. You're not just doing this one isolated little workout, So circuit training, it increases the stamina, increases your endurance, so that you can do it for 4 hours like them, because that's how long they train each day.
Wow,
and they
that
do
is
it,
so crazy.
Yeah, they do it 4 or 5 days a week. It's pretty insane stuff.
Well, if you notice, you had mentioned before that Mira's playing a huger role this season, and that she has been training with them like with the rest of the gladiators. If you look at her body, she is starting to bulk up. You can start to see the definition in her arms, her shoulders. I mean, she's probably, not, I want to say twice the size she was before, but she is a lot more cut up and buffer than she was the first season that she was first premiered on the show.
Yeah, clearly, and she has to do so many other stunts. Before in the show, she was actually just
she never fought before.
She was a body slave.
Right.
She didn't do anything. She didn't have to fight. So now she has to fight. She's got to film the battle sequences along with the men. So that's why she's in there. And from the video I've seen, she's the only woman who's there.
Oh, amazing! I love the fact that's pure dedication.
In season 1, when they were doing Blood and Sand, they actually had Sora. I forgot her name, whatever the actress's name is, but they had Sora, the wife of Spartacus. She came on, and Erin Cummings, that's her name. So she tried it out for one day, and in the video she was like, I decided to try it out, but I'm tortured. This is a mistake. Yeah,
she never really had to fight, so it wouldn't make sense for her to do it.
Yeah, exactly. So along with the circuit training, I'm going to show you guys, tell you guys 2 workouts that are essential. Please, this is a this is a bonehead thing. This is a no-brainer. Please do it. Pull-ups. Do some pull-ups. Doesn't matter how you do them.
Those are so hard, Sean.
See, of course they're harder for women because you guys have less upper body strength, but it can be developed. And I'm not saying I want you to get buff, so that you lose those
breasts.
The breasts or the feminine qualities. No, just go. You can do some, and the women do some on the sets. And all you have to do is get a spotter, get someone to help you out, and lift your legs up. While you're doing the pull-ups.
They have that at the gym.
Yeah, they have the machine one.
Yeah, for the dips and for the pull-ups. The dips I find, I try to do those and I enjoy doing those, but the pull-ups not so easy for me. Yeah. And but I've talked to actually another AfterBuzzer here who was like, yes, go do the pull-ups at any cost, meaning if you can't do them, don't give up on yourself, but make sure you use the little spotter.
Weights with it, right?
Yeah, you're basically reaching and then you kind of kneel and then it supports your weight.
There's like a little seat.
But it still does a lot for you. And so you're saying this is one of the bigger things that they all do? Because I've heard a lot of good things about pull-ups before.
Oh yeah, on the Blood and Sand video that I was looking at in the last few days, that they just shows them doing a lot of pull-ups, and they have the trainers there holding them. It doesn't imagine Andy Whitfield, he was pulling himself up, and then he's just the guy's helping him, and then as soon as he's done, he's just he drops down. It's difficult to do a lot, and the most I try to do, I would say I would recommend people for men who are starting off maybe 7 to 10 reps. I've gone as high as 25 in my lifetime.
Oh wow!
And
see, with the machine, I did 30 today. I actually did that actual machine today in preparation for the show. I wanted to feel like the gladiators, and I actually it wasn't premeditated, but I did do I did do that workout today, and I'm sore from it. And Mira looks like she does or Katrina Law looks like she does a million of them because she's buff up top.
Yeah, but she still looks attractive.
I want to get that.
So good.
I want to get that.
And another workout. Let's see. Second today, I'm going to share with you guys. You need to do some dumbbell curls. Okay, so the gladiators over there in the gladiator boot camp, you got to do the dumbbell curls. Those things, get them. If you can start off on 35 pounds or higher, do it. Okay, so get those dumbbells, one in each hand. You can even just do one in one hand and then switch hands, so you can just put a little bit more force behind it.
How many pounds?
35 pounds.
That is crazy because I only am doing 2 pounds right now. Am I weak for that?
No, you're a woman. It's okay.
I'm doing 2 pounds an arm.
No, my sisters, they probably only go up to 10 or 15 pounds. You can't do that much, and you don't want to lose your feminine beauty, so it's okay. You can do the lower weight.
I'm going to increase moderately.
You can. Go ahead. You look good. So
thank you,
still
Sean.
looking
I appreciate
spicy.
that.
So,
and what about their drinks? They're doing a protein shake, you said? They're chugging down protein shakes?
Yes. So this is what that last video, I posted it up on my Facebook. But you can find it. If you Bing it, you can find it on YouTube. And it's Andy Whitman said they had to eat less and train more, and that's how they got fit. Okay, which is surprising to me. I actually thought, oh man, you got to eat a lot. You have to eat a lot so that you can get more protein in your body and all this. But you just have to have a good balance. That's all you need.
What did Andy say? He said you gotta eat less and
train more.
I would say you gotta get that contract, that paycheck that they're getting, and that's how you get in shape. Right? My opinion on that whole situation.
Because they're getting paid to work out. You
right.
know, they're getting paid for they're obviously being on the show, and there's dude, get in shape. You know, they're doing an investment in these actors. Okay. On the other hand, the common folk like us, we're paying to work out in places like 24 Hour Fitness.
We are paying to work out. We're paying to get fit. fit.
But also, I would say, I mean, this is not calling anyone out in a bad way at all, but there's even AfterBuzzers who have told me since doing the AfterBuzz, like they felt like the clothing that they would wear or their look would be improved because now they're on camera. So what I'm saying is these Spartacus actors, they know we're about to do this scene and everyone
And
is
some of them are
looking
butt
at
naked.
yeah. So it's to their knowledge. So I think that's another motivation for them, and clearly it's what people talk about. Like I don't even know Spartacus the story, but I know, damn, everyone
That's
looks
that naked show, right?
the naked show.
It's
yes.
a show where everybody is
But there's so
buff
much
and
more
sexy
than
looking.
bodies to them.
Yeah.
Deep
so,
storyline.
So within the diet, eat less, train more. I myself, I'm not a full-on vegetarian. I eat meat every now and then, but I was a vegetarian for the first 30 days of this year, and I had one time I was like, oh man, I need to go back to eating meat because I actually was allergic to kale. So I started
Oh, I
eating
love
meat
kale.
again. But once I found out that I just needed to eliminate the kale from my diet, I'm replacing it with spinach, and I'm eating my vegetarian diet, which is like quinoa, avocados, what else? Brown rice. I got tomatoes. I got cucumbers and red peppers. I put all that stuff in a bowl, and it's just filled with vegetables. And then I drink for my workouts. This is what I do. So that's like my daily just kind
So
of meal.
those ingredients that you just named in that bowl,
Yeah.
I put that in a shake.
You put that in the shake.
All those veggies in a shake with a little bit of apples and
Okay.
I put the kale in there too because I'm not allergic.
Okay.
So I mix all that together and the apples and grapefruit just for a little bit of sweetness. And I'm doing that smoothie right now, the
Okay.
veggie smoothie with some protein.
I want to try that out. You need to make one for me, and I'm gonna drink it.
I will.
I want to see how
and,
it is.
and clearly, if anyone who is watching AfterBuzzTV.com or on our iTunes, listening to the Spartacus, the iTunes show here, yeah, they could just follow you guys and your workout plans respectively, and then just kind of stay informed with you is what I'm saying. Like
of course.
past this show, like you guys are giving good hint.
Yeah, they can follow us
tips.
on Twitter.
Yes,
Yeah, you can
keep
follow-
on talking about it. Yeah,
That's right. Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at the Sean Overman, and then
And Spicy
Martin.
Madi, you can follow me at spicy_Madi, MARI.
Do you guys want to do some predictions?
We are
before
going to
we
do our predictions right
Yes.
now.
Let me just close up with that diet too. But we'll do that.
Now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Are we back on? Okay.
Yes.
Predictions. Woo. Diet first. Okay. So
Sean has to get the diet point out there. Sorry, Ronnie.
so that diet. Okay. Most important within those 4 hours of you working out, if you do the 4-hour workout, people, you need to drink 1 protein shake per hour, and that's what pretty much that's what
Whoa.
the cast did on set when they were working out. So anyway, I'm trying to do
Prediction.
that. Let's go to predictions. And so predictions, I have Gannicus will fight against the rebels. He
Oh,
will-
the preview gave that away.
Yes, of course it gave it away. But I've been saying that Gannicus is going to
Yeah,
be
you
fighting.
did. You have been saying that.
He's coming back, but how is he going to come back? I think Ashur is going to convince him that he needs to fight. He may not know who he's going to fight, though. They're probably going to say, you need to fight in the arena, and then he's going to have to do it against his old comrades, and he won't know.
He's going to have to fight against Oenomaus.
Oenomaus, his good friend, and there's going to be, because Oenomaus knows now that he bedded his
Yes.
wife.
Oenomaus is going to kill him.
He's going to be pissed off, okay?
That's a good prediction.
And I got one more. Will Spartacus dress up again and get covertly into the arena to rescue Crixus and the other men?
Ooh.
I think that's going to happen.
I would like to see that. I definitely can see that. My prediction would be between Lucretia and Ilithyia. That Lucretia is going to be revealed that she does remember everything and that she's been playing Ilithyia like a pawn. So I think that is going to be revealed. And I also think that Seppia, I'd mentioned this earlier, is going to start to join the women. She's going to go from young girl to women. And I think that she's going to reject her brother, Seppius, because she really is going to want Varinius. And so I think that she's going to start to be more deceitful and get to their level.
Okay, very
She's
good.
going to do something awful, something evil.
And we will see coming up, you guys.
Those are our AfterBuzz predictions. So thank you guys for joining us today with Spartacus. And stay tuned next week. We'll be here same time, same place for Spartacus.
You don't want to give your Twitter real quick? Go ahead.
Oh, we gave him earlier, but we'll give him
Do
again.
it one more time.
Spicy_Madi.
Now that it says it on the bottom of the screen.
Thanks,
Already. Do
Ronnie.
it one more time.
Spicy_Madi. You can follow me at Spicy_Madi. And you can follow Sean at
the Sean Overman. Check out my blog too, SeanOverman.org. I'll post those workouts that I was talking about. I'll post some other things on there. Check
and
me
I will
out.
be following them as well.
From producers Kevin Undergaro and Phil Svitek, engineer DJ Jesse Janity, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. If you have questions or comments, be sure to buzz us at info@AfterBuzzTV.com. And you can find us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.